Hey guys, I got with the picks. It is Saturday early morning. Yesterday I gave out a college basketball pick on TikTok. I feel like we snuck that one in there somehow. They must not have heard me give that play out. I think if they would have, it would have went a different way. We had over in the Illinois-Michigan State game. It was at 137 and ended up hitting, I think, 141. So it was nice to get a win before this playoff weekend, but the record is atrocious right now. Under 500. We're 8-9 on the year right now. I tell you what, it's been a tough time. I feel really confident about this weekend. I don't know. I just really do. Game I'm going to give here. I'm going to give. Excuse me. I'm going to give a game here. I'm going to give a game on TikTok. I have 2 prop plays that I'm going to give here, and I have 2 prop plays that I'm going to give on TikTok. So if you're not following me on TikTok, make sure you go over to TikTok, type in Hat Guy with the Picks, all one word, hit follow. You'll get notified every time I drop a pick. That easy. Game here is Chargers and Jags. Chargers are giving 1.5, and the total was at 47.5. Now, yes, the Jaguars did beat the hell out of the Chargers in week 3. They beat them 38-10. Now, if you can go back and remember, we had Kansas City against the Chargers the week before. And if you remember, Kansas City, they didn't know it till after the game, but Herbert suffered a cracked rib. We were given Kansas City was given 4. And Herbert threw a 4th down. You guys remember, you remember. They scored a touchdown at the end with about no seconds to go. Chargers lose by 3. In that game, we found out that Herbert had a cracked rib the week before. So, I mean, he went into that Jags game completely beat up. And on top of that, he didn't have Keenan Allen. I'm not making excuses for anything. I'm just stating facts. There was no Keenan Allen. Inside that Jaguar game, a lot of injuries happened, like big injuries. Their lineman, Slater, he was out, still hasn't come back. Bosa got injured in that game and just came back, just recently. So those 2 weeks against Kansas City and the Jaguars did a hell of a number on the Chargers. But what I'm getting to is I don't think that that's a real good game to go back and look at for a lot of handicap reasoning in this game. I just don't think it was, and I didn't. I just wanted to state the things that did happen and didn't happen. But what we do know is Mike Williams is out this week. He should have never been playing last week. I have no idea why any of the starters played last week. There was no reason for anybody on the Chargers to play last week. But they did, and they got bit in the ass for it. The Jaguars, they have the 3rd best passing offense the last 5 weeks. And now I went into looking at how they did that. And when we look at it, I see how it happened. They played the Titans twice. The Titans' pass coverage is shit. Their run defense, number 1 in the NFL. Pass defense, shit. Then they played, and I'm just stating facts. And then they played Well, they played them twice. And then they played Houston. Horrible. Then they played the Jets. Great pass defense. And they held Lawrence to 205 yards and no touchdowns. So it wasn't like Lawrence had a good game there, because he didn't. I think they won 19-7 or 19-3. I mean, it's the Jets. They also, I mean, they played Dallas also, which first half of the year, Dallas's pass defense was all that. The second half of the year, complete different story. Cowboys are in the bottom third for pass defense in the last 8 weeks for the second half of the season. They went from sugar to shit. You know, from week 8 to 9, it was like they took off their mask and they showed who they really were somehow. And they weren't too good the second half. The Jaguars' strength of schedule. Oh, you know what? Let me say this too. Trevor Lawrence, he has 4 turnovers in the last 4 games. And he has 6 turnovers in the last 7 games. So he hasn't been protecting the ball too much at all. And that's going to be a big deal in this game coming up. A real big deal. The Jaguars' strength of schedule was they had the 22nd hardest schedule, which is soft. Now, the Chargers, they had the 11th hardest schedule. That's a big gap right there. This is a Chargers team that is pretty healthy. Actually, real healthy outside of Mike Williams. Now, this Chargers defense is, I don't even want to say hard because I don't think that's the right word. It's going to be almost impossible to contain this Chargers defense. Almost impossible. Since Bosa came back, they're on a complete different level. I'm talking a complete different level. I started looking up these numbers and I just, the last 4 weeks of the season, they have the best pass defense in the NFL. They've only given up 1 passing touchdown and have gotten 4 interceptions in that time period. They're only giving up 150 yards passing. That's first in the NFL the last 4 weeks. They have 16 sacks in the last 4 weeks. That's second. They're number 1 in passer rating given up. And they're number 2 in passer completion. Their defense is Mac's been on a roll. Joey Bosa came back and it's just like the whole team elevated to a whole different level. Derwin James got the boys in the backfield. This defense, if you go back and look, their defense is strong, very strong. And I haven't even talked about the offense at all. I can't see how the Jags can possibly contain Austin Eckler. Not as a running back, but not as a rushing running back. I cannot see how they contain him out of the backfield. I cannot see it. And I look for Gerald Everett to have a big day. One thing Jaguars struggle with big time is tight ends and balls caught in the middle of the field. And Gerald Everett's a big target that Herbert likes. And I see him having a nice day. And you already know what Herbert and Allen's going to do. I mean, they're gonna play pass and catch like they're in the backyard, like they're little kids. Allen will probably have somewhere between 12 and 15 targets. You already know how many catches, a bunch. I mean, his yardage is going to be there. I mean, all that good stuff's going to be there. They're giving Jaguars absolutely way too much credit. Overvalued 100% in my opinion. And they are undervaluing and disrespecting the Chargers big time with this line. I'm not saying the Jaguars aren't good. They're a good team. They are. Are they a second-round playoff team? Absolutely not. No. Herbert's been here. Experience is going to override. This defense is on fire. Listen, Chargers will be playing Kansas City next week. That's who they'll be playing. This line's -1.5. What I want to give here is, I was going to give the 2 player props in the San Fran game here just to mix it up. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So, these are 2 individual player props out of the Seattle-San Francisco 49ers game. What we're taking is, we know what the 49ers are going to do in the game. We already know. They're going to pound the ball, run the ball, run the ball. That's what they're going to do. Let me tell you this. The last 8 weeks of the season for Seattle, they are ranked number 32 in rush defense. That is the worst in the league. That's worse than any possible team you can think of. It's even worse than Houston, if that's possible. They are ranked number 32. And you would think, okay, Christian McCaffrey's shoo-in. No, it's not. The first guy we're looking at is Elijah Mitchell, over 39.5 rushing yards. He's averaging 6.2 yards a carry. He came back last week, had 5 carries for 55 yards or 7 carries for 55 yards, whatever it was, something obscene. He'll get more touches in this game, because you know what I'm talking about. He's going to get more touches in this game. I'm thinking tops, all we need out of him is 9 carries to eclipse the 39.5 yards. That's the first prop play. Elijah Mitchell over 39.5 rushing yards at -125. Now, here's the second one. These are both flat bets. The second one is George Kittle anytime touchdown, +150. Now, why do I think that is an easy play in this game? Very, very easy to see. When you look at their box scores and you see who Mr. Irrelevant's best friend is on the field at all times when Purdy's throwing the ball, is George Kittle. George Kittle has 7 receiving touchdowns in the last 4 games. Seattle secondary gives up 7.7 yards after the catch. Worst in the NFL again. Big tight ends across the middle is not a good sight for Seattle. Purdy and Kittle already carved them up once. They're going to carve them up again. So what you got here is a quick recap. We have the Jaguars -1.5. And then we have 2 player props in the San Francisco game. Elijah Mitchell over 39.5 rushing yards at -125. And George Kittle anytime touchdown score at +150. I feel real good with the win that we picked up yesterday. I really do. It's always a positive to have something confident happening especially when we're rolling into the weekend. And I'm feeling confident, very confident. I'm going to be dropping the other pick over on TikTok right now. So if you're not following me, go over and follow me. You already know what I'm. Thank you guys for everything. You already know what I'm going to do until I get back to you. I've talked too long. I'm going to shut up. We're going to get back to getting this cash.